The most dangerous lies aren't the ones you detect. They're the ones you never suspect. Ever wondered why some lies sound more believable than the truth? Can you tell when someone is lying, or are you falling for their story? What if the words you trust are the ones you should fear the most? How do you decipher truth when lies are spoken with conviction? Stick with me, because the truth is just unfolding. Picture this. Someone looks you in the eye, smiles, and tells you a story that feels just a little too perfect. You nod along, but something's off. A flicker of doubt, a gut feeling you can't shake. Now imagine that liar isn't just one person. It's woven into the fabric of our world, from ancient myths to the curated feeds on your phone. We've all been lied to. And, let's be real, we've all told lies too. But what if lying isn't just a personal flaw? What if it's a force that shapes history, culture, even your own mind? Welcome to the language of a liar. Today, we're unmasking deception, from the trickster gods of old to the subtle words we use to fool ourselves. By the end, you'll see why lies are more than a betrayal. They're a mirror, reflecting who we are and what we fear. Stay with me, because this journey might just change how you see truth forever. Let's start with a hard truth. Lying is everywhere. It's in the politician's promise, the influencer's filter, the friend who says, "I'm fine," when they're not. But it's not new. Deception has deep roots, stretching back to the dawn of human stories. Think of the trickster archetype, Loki in Norse myths, Anansi in West African tales, Coyote in Native American legends. These figures weren't just pranksters. They were chaos bringers, boundary breakers, sometimes even heroes. They lied to survive, to teach, to disrupt. Cultures didn't just fear them, they admired them. Why? Because lies, as much as we hate them, have power. They reveal our complexity, our capacity for cunning, creativity, and survival. But here's the question. When does that power turn against us? Take Loki, the Norse god of mischief. He tricked his way into power, spinning tales to outwit gods and mortals alike, until his lies caught up, chaining him to a rock with venom dripping on his face. Or Anansi, the spider who hoarded wisdom through deceit, only to share it with the world. These myths aren't just bedtime stories. They're warnings and lessons. Societies have long wrestled with liars, painting them as villains to punish or rogues to celebrate. In medieval Europe, they'd dunk suspected liars in water or burn them at the stake, trusting divine justice to sort truth from falsehood. Brutal? Yes, but it shows how deeply we've always craved truth, and how desperately we've feared deception's pull. Now jump to today, and you'll find a trickster alive and thriving, not in ancient tales, but in box office hits and viral shows. He's slipped out of myth and into our living rooms, our Netflix queues, our TikTok scrolls, and we can't stop watching. Take Walter White from Breaking Bad, a meek chemistry teacher turned meth kingpin. His lies begin as a desperate bid to provide for his family, but quickly metastasize, choking everything he once held dear. Or Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street. His words slick with charm, spinning illusions of wealth, indulgence, and power, until the fantasy implodes, leaving only ruin. We don't just consume these stories, we resonate with them. Because deep down, we know the taste of that lie. The one you tell to make pain bearable. The one that keeps you just functional enough to avoid change. We're not just watching liars. We're watching ourselves. That's why we can't look away. Lies are seductive. They offer escape, control, a curated version of you that's easier to stomach. But when the credits roll and the screen fades to black, you're left alone, with your reflection in the black mirror of your phone. What do you see? The deceiver? The deceived? Or both? These stories aren't passive entertainment. They're provocations. They whisper, "Look closer." You might not like what you find, but you need to see it. The trick isn't spotting the lie. It's understanding the motive behind it. Let's dig into the mind of a liar. Why do we do it? Psychologists like Pamela Myers say it often starts with vulnerability, trauma, ambition, a fragile self. But there's a twist. What if some of us choose to lie to stay unhappy? Sounds wild, right? Ichiro Kishimi and Fumite Koga, in The Courage to be Disliked, argue that unhappiness can be a strategy, a deliberate mask we wear to reach twisted goals. You're the one who determines your own life, they say. So if happiness is within our control, why would anyone pick misery? Because it's useful. Some cling to unhappiness to avoid the hard work of change, to dodge rejection, to keep the world at arm's length. When the truth feels uncomfortable, lies become far too easy to accept. It's a lie we tell ourselves. I can't be happy because I'm broken. But that's just the trickster talking, cunning, protective, and oh so deceptive. And the more we tell it, the more it shapes us. Over time, these lies become our reality, our identity. We build a prison of self-deception, convincing ourselves that escape is impossible. But here's the question. If we've constructed the walls, don't we also hold the key? Here's where it gets practical. Liars have a telltale language, if you know what to listen for. Studies from forensic linguistics, like those by John Olson, show they dodge I statements. Instead of I did this, it's things happened. Passive voice creates distance, shielding them from the lie. They oversimplify too. No messy details, just a clean, rehearsed script. Ever notice someone's story feels too smooth? Or their emotions don't match their words? Laughing while claiming sadness? That's the crack in the mask. Authentic tales stumble, lies glide. Next time you're suspicious, listen closer. The words will betray them. But lies don't just fool others. They claw at the liar's soul. Imagine this. You've spun a web to impress someone, a job you didn't get, a life you don't live. At first, it's a rush, a little victory. But then the threads tighten. The stress of juggling it. The guilt that creeps in when the lights go out. You've been there. Those late nights replaying small fibs that grew into walls, cutting you off from the people you wanted to hold closest. Research backs this up. A 2022 emotion study ties chronic lying to anxiety, depression, a slow unraveling. Lies don't just shatter trust. They fracture us, piece by quiet piece. And the wreckage spreads. Relationships wither when we're too tangled in our own stories to show up real. Creativity starves when we're dodging truth for the next easy lie. The deeper joys, connection, purpose, that raw spark of being alive, get buried under a heap of hollow excuses. We've watched friends fade, lost to screens and half-truths, and felt my own dreams slip through distracted fingers. But here's the shift. What if we've got it all wrong? What if happiness isn't the prize we've been chasing? Aristotle called it eudaimonia, not cheap thrills, but a life that flourishes through meaning. Martin Seligman's research proves it. The fullest lives aren't about pleasure. They're about engagement, love, purpose. Pleasure's a garnish, not the meal. The trap's not happiness. It's thinking it's the only dish worth eating. Zoom out, and it's bigger than us. Lies shape societies, and unhappiness fuels the machine. Think of those who've given up. Kishimi and Koga say some adopt a second goal, convincing themselves they're flawed, defective, unlovable. I'm not liked because I'm broken, they whisper, a lie that shields them from the risk of rejection. No need to seek approval if you've already decided you'll never get it. It's safe, it's cozy, it's a coffin. Meanwhile, whistleblowers like Edward Snowden fight to unmask systemic deceit, risking all. And online, misinformation, fake cures, rigged elections, spreads 6 times faster than truth, per a 2023 Nature study. Why? It hooks the unhappy, the fearful. Communities crack, trust bleeds out. Lies aren't just personal, they're a plague. Let's slow down. The scariest liar isn't out there, it's in here. Self-deception's the trickster we don't see. Ever told yourself you're fine when you're falling apart? Or that you're flawed so no one could love you? We lie to avoid pain, to cling to misery because it's familiar. Jung called it the shadow, the parts we deny. But those lies don't protect us, they blind us. A 2021 psychological review study showed self-deceivers are more vulnerable to manipulation, because if you can't face your own truth, anyone can sell you theirs. What are you hiding from yourself right now? So how do we break free? It's not a switch, it's a fight, and it starts with waking up. Teachers get this. Train kids to tear apart texts, spot the slant, call out the holes. You can too, but it's more than that. It's you versus you. Pinpoint your triggers. Fear when you're cornered, shame when you're small, ambition when you're hungry. Plan it out. If I feel that itch to lie, I'll stop, breathe deep, let the moment pass. Grab an accountability partner, someone who'll lock eyes and say, cut the crap, but still have your back. I've stumbled through this, messed up plenty, but every time I choose truth, it's like kicking a brick out of that wall. Start small, but start now. Want to spot deception? Sharpen your senses. Liars over-explain or dodge questions. Watch for it. Cross-reference stories, dates, Details, sources. Tech helps too. AI like credibility check scans text for inconsistencies, but it's not foolproof. Privacy's the trade-off. Ethically, it's murky. Should we play detective? Maybe not. The real power's in self-awareness. Catch your own lies first. I'm too busy when you're just scared, or I'm unlovable when you're just hiding. That's where change begins. Truth isn't easy, but it's solid. Here's the heart of it. The lie we've all swallowed. That happiness comes from avoiding hard truths or embracing easy flaws. It doesn't. Real freedom, real peace, comes from facing them. The trickster teaches us this. Lies can spark chaos, but truth builds resilience. Across traditions, Buddhism's clarity, Christianity's confession, honesty's tied to integrity, to spirit. A 2020 Journal of Positive Psychology study found truth-tellers report higher well-being. Not because life's easier, but because it's real. When you drop the mask, you don't just free yourself. You inspire others. That's the ripple we need. So where do we go from here? Lies are ancient, seductive, woven into our myths and screens. They promise safety, through misery, through flaws, but deliver chains. You've seen the language of a liar. Its distance, its cracks. Now see the language of truth. Raw, messy, brave. You can choose. Keep spinning tales or step into honesty's steep path. Start today. Call out one lie you tell yourself. Share it below. What's your trickster hiding? Together, we can unmask this chaos, not just for us, but for a world drowning in deception. The stakes are high, but the reward's higher. Truth isn't a trap, it's a key. Use it. Thanks for watching. If this hit you, like, subscribe, hit the bell. We're decoding more human puzzles soon. You're not alone in this fight. Let's keep unmasking.